friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and this is my August TBR pursuit. If you're not familiar with TBR pursuit, this is not my original game. This is Jade Reed's game, so I will link her down below like always. I've been doing this since January, but basically I take this board here. Each color corresponds to a different genre. I roll a dice, I go around the board, I land, I pick a card, there's a prompt. I pick a book to go with the prompt, and then I read the 6 books that go along with each prompt. If for some reason I don't complete the 6 books in the month, then the next month I add an extra roll as a punishment and then go from there. I will link my playlist up above if you guys would like to watch previous months of that. So let's talk about the month of July. So you've probably noticed that I've been absent, and that was not intended. It was not planned. I took a bit of a hiatus in July. My mental health had other plans for me. I kind of abandoned my TBR. I only read a total of 2 books. One I actually started in the month of June, so I finished it in the beginning of the month. And then I read one other book, one of my most anticipated reads of the month, and it took me 2.5 weeks to read, I think. And it's not because I wasn't enjoying it. I was very much enjoying it. I just couldn't make myself pick it up. So I just didn't read. I didn't film, and yeah, it was not a great month for me. But you know what? That's all right. We all have months like that, right? We're all entitled to that. I needed to practice some self-care, so that's what I did. And here we are in August. I'm ready to read. I'm ready to go. And let's just see what August looks like for the month. Let's get into the rolls. All right, roll number 1. 4. So with the 4, I can go to mystery, thriller, horror, my trick or treat, historical fiction, romance, and that's it. So let's start with, we'll just start here. Trick or treat. Ooh, this is great. 5-star prediction. So roll number 1, I landed on yellow, which is my trick or treat category, and the prompt for that was to read a 5-star prediction. I only have 2 5-star predictions left from my video that I put up earlier in the year. One of those being Let Me Lie by Claire McIntosh, and this is a thriller. I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh is like one of my favorite thrillers ever, so it just made sense to put this on a 5-star prediction video. This is about a girl who lost her mom, I think, to a murder, or her parents maybe, to a murder-suicide, and she doesn't believe them, so she like goes digging into that. And I Let You Go, like, that story was just so twisty and just not at all what I expected, and there were 2 things going on and they just like interwove so well, and I just loved it so much, and I gave that one 5 stars like I said. So I just thought that this one would be great, and I've been meaning to get to it for such a long time. So yeah, roll number 1, 5-star prediction, Let Me Lie by Claire McIntosh. Roll number 2. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is contemporary non-romance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is sci-fi fantasy. Let's do sci-fi fantasy. And let's hope I don't regret it. Oh my gosh, of course I get this prompt. A big book that is 500 plus pages. So roll number 2, I landed on green, which is sci-fi fantasy. The prompt for that was big book, which is classified as 500 plus pages. So I chose Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that I'm trying to get through this entire series by the end of the year. I think this is book 4 or 5, depending on if you count Assassin's Blade as book 1. So yeah, I mean, I'm just making my way through this series. Roll number 3. 2. 1, 2, sci-fi fantasy. 1, 2, roll again. So let's do roll again. 1, contemporary non-romance or mystery thriller horror. We're gonna do mystery thriller horror. A true crime. So roll number 3, I landed on Orange, which is a mystery thriller horror, and the prompt for that was to read a true crime. So I chose My Summer with a Serial Killer, The Babysitter. This is by Liza Rodman and Jennifer Jordan. This book is about a girl whose babysitter was a serial killer and how she spent her summers with said serial killer. That's all I know. I mean, that's all I need to know. I've heard great things about it. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, this girl is like recounting how her babysitter was a serial killer, and I'm assuming that she didn't even know that. So I can't even imagine. I'm really excited to read this. This is on one of my advances on the back. This is on one of my anticipated reads of the year list that I made. So roll number 3, mystery thriller horror, true crime, The Babysitter. Roll number 4. Well, you guys can't see that. It's a 2. 1, 2, historical fiction. 1, 2, contemporary non-romance. Let's do contemporary non-romance. Read a standalone. Okay. Roll number 4, I landed on Blue, which is a contemporary non-romance. I realized after getting this prompt that I don't have as many contemporary non-romance standalones on my shelf as I thought, but I did have A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman on my shelf, and I love Beartown. That's like, that book, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like one of my absolute favorite books ever. So I wanted to get into this one. This is about a family with a little girl that moves in next door to this like grumpy old man who lives alone, who just wants to be left alone and be grumpy. And I think it turns out that he's just lonely, and he falls in love with this little girl. Like they have this like little inseparable bond. And I'm really, really excited to get into this. So roll number 4 was a contemporary non-romance, and we have A Man Called Ove. Oh, I'm just really excited. Roll number 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sci-Fi Fantasy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sci-Fi Fantasy. And I really don't want to have to read another sci-fi or fantasy this month. But no matter which way I go, I'm stuck with another sci-fi fantasy. So we're just going to go this way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's read a dystopian. Roll number 5, I landed on Green, which is sci-fi fantasy. The prompt for that was dystopian. And I couldn't find any dystopian on my shelves. I looked through Goodreads. I couldn't find any dystopian on my like to read shelf that I owned and or that I'm interested in, that I like at all. So instead of just like picking up something randomly that I'm not interested in, when I have like all of these books plus like books that I could just get from the library of something that I'm interested in, I cheated a little bit here and I decided to pick up a sci-fi horror, and I'm gonna read The Luminous Dead by Caitlyn Starling. So this still falls in like the fantasy sci-fi genre, but it's just not a dystopian. While I do love a good dystopian novel, I just couldn't find one that I'm interested in at the moment. This book follows this woman who has like faked her way into this job where she is going to go down into this cave by herself. She's like in this suit where she has to like explore this cave for like weeks. Basically she has this team like topside that's helping her like navigate this cave. I don't know why she's doing it, but she's getting paid a lot of money to do it because it's pretty dangerous. Like the cave can collapse. Why do I keep saying basically? Her handler is not who they seem to be, or they have like some kind of ulterior motive, I guess. It says the cave will swallow them whole. I don't know. It seems really like ominous. Ominous, is that the word? Why am I such a dumbass? I don't know what the word is, but it seems really creepy and cool, and I am stoked to get to it this month. So roll number 5 is Sci-Fi Fantasy. It was dystopian, but I changed it to sci-fi horror. All right, my 6th and final roll is 3. 1, 2, 3, contemporary non-romance. 1, 2, 3, sci-fi and fantasy. You know what? We're just gonna do sci-fi and fantasy because apparently the universe just wants me to read sci-fi and fantasy this month. The next book in a series. Roll number 6, I also landed on green again. So very sci-fi heavy month. And the prompt for that was to read the next in a series. And so I chose to read A Torch Against the Night, which is book 2 in the Ember in the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. I just reread An Ember in the Ashes earlier this year. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars the second time around, 5 stars the first time I read it. So I am happy to get back into this. Hopefully I can get through the entire 4-book series by the end of the year. That is my hope. So I can check another series off my list. So yeah, I'm excited to dive back into this world. These books are, well, at least the first one was super quick and easy to get through. I mean, they're chunky books, but the margins are pretty big, and yeah, just quick and easy reads. So excited to see what Elias and Elia have in store for me this time around. So roll number 6 was green, sci-fi fantasy, next book in a series. Now, I had a horrible reading month in July, and I know that I will not be completing my July TBR. Normally that would mean that I would be adding an extra roll as a punishment. And I am gonna add a 7th roll, but I am not going to punish myself in August if I don't read the 7th book. I'm just gonna add it to give myself an option, and we'll just see what happens. So let's just roll 7 times and I'll just add it on, and if I get to it, cool, that's great, and if I don't, that's also great. So let's roll for a 7th time. No pressure. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Contemporary non-romance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yellow, which is trick or treat. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last chance TBR. All right, well, that's good. I need to get to some of those reads. So like I told you guys, I added a punishment roll because I just felt like I needed to. If I get to it, cool. If I don't, cool, no pressure. And I landed on yellow, and that is my trick or treat category, and the prompt for that was to read a last chance TBR pick, which is great because I have not been doing a good job of getting through those lately. And so I chose Royally Matched. This is by Emma Chase. This is the 2nd book in her royally, I don't know, royally, what is it? I don't know what the name of the series is, but this is the 2nd book in that like companion series that follows brothers, I believe. I was not excited about this book when I finished the first one because this follows the brother of the first novel, and I didn't like him. His name is Henry, and I really didn't like him. And then when I was looking through my Last Chance TBR shelf, I was like, what am I gonna read? And this one's pretty short, and the books I have on my TBR this month are pretty heavy. So I was like, yeah, this is short, let me just pick it up and see if I can fit this one in. And then I read the back, and I was like, maybe I won't mind because it's been such a long time, so I don't really remember him as a character, so maybe I won't mind him this time around. But this is like a royal bachelor, essentially. Like the grandmother, this Henry guy, he is the prince of this, I don't know, country, and he is getting ready to take over the country, right? But he's not ready. He's not in a relationship. And so his grandmother decides that she needs to put him on this like royal edition of The Bachelor. And so that's what she does. But it's pretty short. I think it's less than 300 pages. And because it's like a, how many times am I going to say this? But it's like a royal version of The Bachelor. I mean, that sounds pretty fun. I am a reality TV junkie, so this is like right up my street. And yeah, I like it. So I think it's gonna be fun. I think it'll be a fun way to like break up the month, and I'm excited to pick it up finally. I mean, it's only been sitting on my shelf for years and years, and then maybe I'll finally pick up the third book, which is called Royally Endowed. So excited to get into that one. And from what I remember of Royally Screwed, which is the first book, it's pretty steamy. So I think I'm really gonna like it. So I mean, here's my stack. So I think it comes out to like, without this book, because I'm not gonna put pressure on myself to read it, it comes out to a little over 2,500 pages. So it's about 100 pages a day. Not too bad. And I mean, I don't read every single day, and I tend to read more on the weekends than during the week anyway. So I can probably knock this out this month. I think I can. I hope so. I really need to. And I'm also hoping to read a couple of other things. Maybe I have some library books I like to get to. So we'll see. We'll see what the month brings. But I'm excited about the books. I'm excited to get some reading in because I didn't read for a whole month. So I feel like I'm behind, even though I'm not behind. I'm still ahead on my Goodreads goal. And yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and let me know down below what you are excited to read this month. Or, you know, what your favorite thing that you read last month was, since I'm not going to have a wrap up because I didn't read anything in July. If you want to let me know where you were here, just leave me your favorite emoji, whatever that is. I don't care. Just leave it down below so I know you were here and you enjoyed what you watched. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.